Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. For today's video, we are doing an NBA 1v1 tournament type of challenge debate thing, I guess, here, man. So the other day we did a video, talking about which players were overrated and underrated using this NBA County Instagram page. You guys really liked that video, man. So this one right here is basically who would win in a 1v1. So we got a whole bunch of different slides with different players. You guys let me know in the comment section below who you guys think would win in these 1v1s. Now, before we get going on this video, if you guys don't mind leaving a like on it, 1,000 likes is always the goal. And of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you all so much for that. Okay, so we got to keep in mind, as we go through these videos, or through these slides, I should say, it's not so, this is not a who's the better basketball player. This is 1v1. We've all played basketball against our friends and stuff like that, man. There's a lot of skill sets that you might see in the NBA that just does not translate to a 1v1. Like, obviously, if you're like a good playmaker or a good rebounder, that's not really going to help. The big important things here, obviously, is your ability to score the basketball, your ability to play some defense, quickness, I think, is pretty damn important, handles, all that good stuff, right? So we got to keep that in mind as we go through this. But as you guys can see, the first one we have here is who would win in a 1v1, Kevin Durant versus LeBron James. So instantly, this kind of brings up the point what we just talked about. LeBron is, top 2 player of all time. Number 1 to some people, depending on who you're talking to. Because of his ability, not only to score the basketball, but also to make plays for others and do all that stuff out there. Man, he's a complete basketball player, probably the most complete player of all time. Where Kevin Durant, he is giftedly like one of the greatest scorers of all time. Like, this man, the way he can score the basketball, both guys are serviceable defenders. I think KD is way better than LeBron defense at this point. A lot of that obviously is because LeBron's getting up there in age and everything. I would say Kevin Durant beats LeBron in a 1v1. Now, as far as the better basketball player, there's even an argument right now to be said about that. But 1v1, I'm taking one of, if not the most gifted offensive dudes of all time in Kevin Durant. And 62%, yeah, no real big surprise there. It's not an argument who's better or worse or whatever, man. So there we go. Okay. Next up, we have Bradley Beal versus Russell Westbrook. This one's pretty damn easy. No doubt in my mind it's Bradley Beal. Russell Westbrook obviously can get the triple-doubles and everything, getting the rebounds and the assists, but that's not helping you in a 1v1. Russell, it's like you kind of just sit back and let him shoot threes. You're good to go. Maybe kind of sag off in the paint a little bit. Bradley Beal was number 2, nearly number 1 scoring champ last season. So, yeah, I'm taking Bradley Beal 1 trillion% here. Really? 53% for Russell Westbrook? I know he's got the tenacity getting to the basket and stuff, but let's not argue and say Beal can't do the same thing, right? I mean, maybe not as aggressive as Russell, but more efficient and more finessey, I should say. So, okay, I'm surprised by that one. Okay, let's keep it going, man. Next up, we have Anthony Edwards versus LaMelo Ball. Both players last season had issues with efficiency. I would say Anthony Edwards, scoring-wise, kind of became more of a complete player in that regards towards the end of the season. LaMelo, can have those games where he absolutely goes off. He also can have the games where he goes 1 for 12 or whatever, right? So in a 1v1 straight up, LaMelo Ball's handles, LaMelo Ball, not balls, LaMelo Balls. Yeah, I guess that would be plural. His ball is balls. His handles and stuff is going to help him quite a bit. He also has the length on Anthony Edwards. But I think for as far as man, I also LaMelo's got a bit of a bag on him too, man. This one's tough. I like Ant-Man scoring wise, but Edwards also was not a great 3-point shooter. So it's not like the case with Russell and Bradley Beal where that was a big difference maker. I think the length of LaMelo and his ability, obviously, he is a point guard and everything, I think that helps him out. I'm gonna say LaMelo Ball, 46%. Okay, so all right, that's just. I'm cool with Anthony Edwards too on this one. I'm not oh my god, how dare you pick Anthony Edwards? Yeah, I can also see a case for that. That one's pretty tough. Next up, we got RJ Barrett versus Kade Cunningham, man. Okay, who would win in a 1v1? So, interesting matchup right here. I don't know how these two got matched up against each other. As of right now, RJ Barrett has, he's always going to have more NBA experience because he's an older player, right? But, he's got the experience like Kade Cunningham. I think Kade, probably better at handling the basketball, where RJ is a guy that can create his own shot, obviously, but playing the small forward position or whatever, he does kind of rely on his teammates setting him up, right? He's still good in isolation and everything, but Kade can, create his own shot, right, man? Detroit basket. Here you go. Oh, here we go. There we go. 50. Oh, and number 1 pick in the draft, right? We got to say number 1 pick in the draft. So, sorry, Knicks fans. Oh, I'm going to be voting for my dude. I almost said trade. Trade Cunningham. Nope, don't do that. Kade Cunningham. Okay. Who would win in a 1v1 between Donovan Mitchell and Jimmy Butler? This is a good one. Because the first thing I think of is, yet again, Jimmy Butler can be a little inefficient scoring wise, but he also just has that grit and grind to him where he doesn't back down. But also what a lot of Jimmy does is, making plays for others, grabbing rebounds or anything like that. Where like Mitchell is a walking bucket and a respectable defender. Like the Utah Jazz, they always have like a top defensive team. So I know a big part of that's Rudy Gobert, but like Mitchell's not like a bad defender either. And he doesn't really need to be great against Jimmy Butler because Jimmy's inefficiency as a scorer at times. So I'm going to go with Donovan Mitchell on this one, man. I think overall Jimmy Butler's the better player right now. Right now, overall, I'm talking about complete game, not scoring-wise. But I think Mitchell's the better scorer and would get the job done here. So 59%. Okay, yeah, definitely good with that. Here we have Colin Sexton versus Kemba Walker. So scoring-wise, pretty similar players. Can both fill it up. Both have off games and everything. I think a lot of this one comes down to defense, and Colin Sexton's actually a very underrated defensive player. He can put a body on you and everything, man. They call him like Young Bull or whatever, right? So I think Kemba Walker, years past, the better player, but I think for a 1v1, I'm going to take Colin Sexton, who, because Kemba can make plays for others. I mean, Colin Sexton's a fine playmaker, but it's a big reason why he got shifted to the 2 spot is because he is more of like a natural scorer and stuff like that. So I like the defensive edge here. I'm going to go with Colin Sexton, 43%. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people just think like Kemba's a better player or underrating Colin Sexton, but Colin Sexton would win in 1v1, no doubt in my mind. We have Darren Fox versus John Moran. This is a good matchup. This one's tough. De'Aaron Fox is like the quickest dude in the NBA with the basketball, with maybe the exception of like Ben Simmons. Both extremely athletic. I think De'Aaron Fox right now is more of a polished offensive player. I think over time, John Moran probably becomes the better point guard. I just don't know if that's quite the case yet. I'm going to go with De'Aaron Fox 1v1 right now. 36%. Wow, it's 64. Okay. That is some disrespect to De'Aaron Fox. Wow, I mean, I already think that Darren Fox is one of the most underrated players in the NBA. And like I said, this is not me disrespecting John Moran. This is more so paying to like the more polished guy. Although, Kade Cunningham was the #1 pick. That's why I didn't do it over there, right? Just, gotta point that out. Okay. Let's continue. We have Joel Embiid versus Steph Curry. Let's assume we're playing 3s and 2s. The best way I can summarize this is 3 points is worth more than 2 points. Steph Curry has the handle package to, get open, create his own shot, and not to mention if you have Joel Embiid in his face, he can still knock down the 3. Joel Embiid could literally post up Steph Curry the entire time. Therefore, if Steph Curry's making his 3s, which he's Steph Curry, he will be, 3 is worth more than 2. So that's more than you can get a post up, right? So that's my reasoning is Steph Curry, 75%. Okay, nice. Here we have, oh man, Kyrie Irving versus Allen Iverson. Wow. Okay. So first you gotta start talking about the handles. Pretty equal there. I think Iverson actually said that Kyrie has better handles than him. So that's Iverson saying that. So still important, but in this case, not extremely important. Kyrie the better overall 3-point shooter. I think Iverson's better getting to the basket. What made Iverson so great was his ability to get to the free throw line, which isn't really going to matter in a 1v1. Like, you might get called for a foul, but you don't get free throws over it, right? Iverson's the better defender. Neither a great defender, but Iverson obviously, stealing the basketball and everything, he was good at that, which you're not going to rip Kyrie Irving, so it's not going to help in this case. Allen Iverson is one of my top 5 players of all time. My top 5 favorites, I'm sorry. One of my top 5 favorite players of all time, but I think push come to shove in a 1v1, that's Kyrie's game. I'm going to say Kyrie Irving. I mean, I know a lot of this is just love towards Allen Iverson and some hate towards Kyrie. I'm saying this is a non-biased person right, man. Well, Iverson is one of my favorite players of all time, but I think Kyrie has a 1v1. I think he does, man. And that's respect to both of their skill sets. Here we have Zion versus Trae Young. Because like the thing about like Embiid versus Curry, it's like Embiid is like this giant ass dude who can play some defense, obviously, but I think Zion would be a little bit quicker on the perimeter, staying in front of Trae Young. But Trae Young, once again, you're talking about the 3 versus 2 theory, where Zion can make the 3, but he's not going to do it that often. So once again, it's like as long as, I mean, if he can cause Trey to miss a few 3-point shots, he has a better chance. But I think yet again in a 1v1, you look at the 3 versus 2. Like Zion's going to score every single time on Trae Young, but Trae Young is good enough 3-point shooter where he can make up those points pretty quickly. So I'm gonna say Trae Young in a 1v1. Zion, it's all about the math, man. It's about the math. The 3 versus 2 theory. I'm telling you, that's it. Here we have Paul George versus Jason Tatum. Oh my God, what a equal matchup. This is pretty damn equal. Oh man, okay. Like if it was Indiana Pacers, Paul George, I'm taking him. Wow. I think Tatum is, because Paul George is actually one of the better catch and shoot players in the NBA. Can create his own shot, but I would say Jason Tatum is elite at creating his own shot. He's elite at where Paul George is dominant at it, but not elite. Where a lot of Paul George can, come playing off others and stuff too, man. So Paul George is the better defender between the two. But I think Tatum's got that Kevin Durant full package offensive game to him, where that's going to be the difference maker. I'm going to go Jason Tatum. 62%. Okay, there we go. Here we have Derrick Rose versus Pascal Siakam. Pascal's a solid defender. Derrick Rose very crafty with it. Pascal could score. Derrick Rose could score. I mean, that's the point of basketball. I'm going to say D-Rose. And that's just me taking the point guard over the power forward. That's no disrespect to Pascal Siakam. I'm taking D-Rose in 1v1, though. Okay. Here we have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander versus Julius Randle. I think Shai... Is Shai the better player right now? Julius was pretty damn impressive last year. That's why I got most improved player. Julius has a decent handle for, 6'9" power forward also. Can really create his own shot. A little slow and, kind of sluggish with it, but can still get it done. He's got the post-up game. Shai is like 6'6", though, so he's a bit taller for a point guard / shooting guard spot. But I think I'm taking Julius in a 1v1. Okay, yeah, I'm not, upset about this one. This one's close. I'm like, yeah, I could also argue for Shai. I just picked somebody in this case. That's fine. Here we have Markelle Fultz versus Cole Anthony. In this case, I'm probably taking Cole Anthony because Markelle Fultz can struggle offensively. I love what Markelle can do defensively, making plays for others and rebounding the basketball, but the offensive game still isn't quite there yet. He does have nice games, but Cole Anthony, when I think of him, I think of offense, so I'm going to go with Cole Anthony in a 1v1. Rudy Gobert versus Isaiah Thomas. Okay, Rudy Gobert is a great defensive player. Isaiah Thomas has enough in his package, though, where it's where he doesn't have to, attack the basket to score on Rudy. Rudy is going to, man, this is going to be the longest game of 1v1 of all time, man. I'm taking Isaiah Thomas in a 1v1. Yeah, I just don't think, Rudy Gobert, I don't think he's going to, shut down Isaiah like that. Despite it being a great defender, I think he's more of a NBA defender, not so much 1v1 defender, which is different. Here we have Jokic versus Damian Lillard. This one you come down to who's the better scorer. I think it's Damian Lillard. Jokic, winning the MVP, has the more complete game. Both not great defensive players, so that's not going to be a big difference. I don't see Jokic being able to stay in front of Damian at all. Damian 1v1, easy. 74%, easy. Here we have DeMar DeRozan versus Zach LaVine. DeMar's not as great of a defensive player as I thought he once was, so that's not going to be a big difference maker right here. I think this one comes down to who has more in the offensive bag. At this point, it's Zach LaVine. 63%, easy. D'Lo versus Kyle Lowry. I think Lowry is more of an NBA point guard, not so much a 1v1 point guard. I think D'Lo, great scorer. I'm taking D'Lo in a 1v1. Not a big argument here, but I think I'm taking D'Lo 1v1 scenario. Okay, that one's good. We have Prime Carmelo versus Kevin Garnett. Doesn't say Prime Garnett, so no. We're going to assume Prime Kevin Garnett. Melo, same realm as Kevin Durant as far as just one of the most complete offensive players of all time. Kevin Garnett does have that grit and grind factor, that tenacity where he's going to try to lock you up on defense. I don't think he has enough of the offense to beat Carmelo Anthony. KG obviously still a great defensive player, but Melo, like I said, man, next tier is that. Tall enough to put somewhat of a body on KG, but I'm taking Melo in a 1v1. I think all-time KG's probably the better player, though, right? I think we can all agree on that, right? Probably. And there we go. That is the end of it, man. That is the end of it right there. So, yes, it's this NBA County page. I've been loving making these. They've been a ton of fun to do. So, that's all we got. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace out, my friends.